Georgia hosting Auburn. That line opened at minus 27. Georgia, now it's minus 24. Over-unders 53.5. Seems like a lot of points, boys.
It does. And, we can sit here and there'll be people that say, well, this is the game where Auburn, plays Georgia tight because nobody's looking and Auburn hadn't been that good. Coming off that Alabama game, this feels like lambs going to the slaughter is what it feels like to me. And you can be a fan of Auburn. we're just going to tell you straight up. Here's my thing with Auburn. I'm not a doctor. I'm not even smart enough to play one on TV. But I think I have a diagnosis for Auburn's program right now.
What is it?
There is an illness in the program. It's pseudo-dysphagia, the fear of choking. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm serious. There is a sickness in this Auburn team right now because it's not just one person. They find ways to lose games. Hugh Freeze even said it. I think there is a fear of the moment on that team. Please don't let me have the ball in my hands to win the game. Please don't let me have to make a kick to win the game. Please, don't be 3rd and 18 and we have to get a stop because we'll rough the passer or get beat deep dropping 8. And Auburn's defense played really good against Oklahoma. Really good. You got beat one time in man coverage. I didn't like kind of the way that Durkin did it at the end. But that game was not on Auburn's defense. Losers find a way to lose. Winners find a way to win. Auburn and Oklahoma is a great example of that. Oklahoma did not play well in that game, on offense or defense. That's one of the worst defensive performances I've seen Oklahoma have. I was actually shocked to see it. And you got to give credit to Peyton Thorne and Auburn's offense for moving the ball. But what did they do when they had to have it? Who made the plays? Oklahoma did. You can sit here and Hugh Freeze, I think, is going to get this turned around. But the only way I know to fix that, right, because it's a problem, you got to admit it. I mean, you can sit here and say whatever, you got to admit it, is that you need the young guys to become the leaders. Because whatever it is, the old guys aren't getting it done. And I'm not saying it's all their fault, but this is a culture problem. This is a fear of the moment problem. And it's not everybody. I don't think Eugene Asante is afraid of the moment. I think there's some that aren't afraid of it, but there's too many guys that are in important positions. And I put out a tweet in being sarcastic, saying when Peyton Thorne threw that pick 6, that I almost think that Peyton Thorne's a plant by Auburn or Georgia, because I've never seen somebody blow a game in many different ways on purpose. Like, I've never seen it. And somebody replied, Jake, Peyton Thorne played his best game in his Auburn career. How could you say that? You know what my answer was? Exactly. You just answered it. The best game of your career, you threw a pick 6 to lose the game. And you lost the game. The best game of your career, you threw a pick 6 to lose a game. Not only that, and Hugh Freeze shouldn't have called those RPOs, and his time management was horrible. The coaching has not been good. And you can't be under-personneled and poorly coached. You can't be that way. But you got the ball, you're up 21-10 with 10 minutes to go in the game, 8 minutes to go in the game, whatever. And you call in 2 RPOs, and this was a double screw up. The fact, number one, that you have a quarterback that's a 5th-year senior that doesn't have the awareness to know, hey, I need to hand this off or keep it and run it in that situation, and didn't do it and threw it twice and got 2 incompletions, that's a fireable offense right there to the quarterback, to me. Calling that play was dumb. You should have just called 2 run plays. So it was a double screw up. But Auburn is to the point now where everybody is choking. Whether it's time management, game management, clock management, the coaches are choking. Whether it's special teams this game, or the offense the other one, or the defense on the next. That's where they're at right now, and this Georgia team is going to murder them. They are going to. Because if you think it was bad, you're not catching Georgia coming off a dominant performance over Alabama riding high. And Peyton should have thrown 3. So it's not all on Peyton Thorne. I'm not saying that, but I don't think you throw a freshman out there against Georgia on the road and just throw red meat out there and let the Lions go rip it apart. You're in a hard place because you didn't get a quarterback out of the portal, and this is just where you're at. So I can sit here and tell you all these things about schematically what Georgia should do or whatever. I'll say what I said on Locked on Auburn with my buddy Zach Blacker before the Oklahoma game. I cannot pick Auburn to win any game because they continue to choke at an incredible level. And you can sit here and say that and still believe in Hugh Freeze. The Auburn fans are like, don't say anything negative about Auburn. Don't ever say anything negative about Auburn. That's like never getting your child in trouble or punishing your child when they screw up. They're going to be ruined when they grow up. You can be critical and still understand that this is a long-term process, but you fired most of the coaches on your coaching staff and replaced them and said, we're going to coach better, we're going to be smarter, and you're not doing it. Everybody is choking in that program, and it's tough.
Blaine, pseudodysphagia. What's the cure for that? And also, we didn't give Kentucky any chance to beat Ole Miss. They did. We didn't really give Arizona any chance to beat Utah. They did. What does it take for Auburn to beat Georgia when everyone's counting them out?
Carson Beck has to lose the game for Georgia. I think he has to throw multiple interceptions, multiple pick sixes, to be honest.
Even then, Auburn would find a way to lose it. You think I'm kidding?
No, I don't think you're kidding. Trust me, I watch it every Saturday. I get it. I picked Auburn to win last weekend and watched them fall apart. I don't know how anybody's surprised by this. It's not surprising to me. I've seen it from Peyton Thorne his entire career. At the end of the day, it's on Hugh Freeze for not getting a quarterback. You've done everything wrong the entire year. Basically, you have a good win against New Mexico. But there's one thing that can fix it. One thing that could just fix everybody's problems at Auburn.
You win this game?
If you somehow beat Georgia. Right? That's it. If you can somehow, and look, all right, Auburn's not a great football team. There are some good things. I think you can see that as an Auburn fan, but you miss on the quarterback position. That's a position you can't miss unless you're extremely talented at every other position, which Auburn is not. But you saw some weaknesses against Georgia.
Yeah.
Right? You saw that on defense from a lining up standpoint, from a pre-snap standpoint, from tackling in space. They don't look like the Georgia team we're used to seeing. So Georgia is now what? They're gettable. All right? They are a gettable football team. But at the end of the day, Auburn has proved nothing to anybody that they can go nut up in a big game and at the end of a game and make the right play.
Yeah.
And with the right players. So am I going to sit here and just bash Auburn? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't think I've said my piece and I've said enough. You have to move on. If Peyton Thorne's that guy, you have to go with him. He's not going to magically become better, but just maybe if you're Hugh Freeze, maybe you can just hit his head and learn to speak Chinese and be really good at math. In one game, he can pull through. I don't see this happening, but you never know.
And the last point I want to make, you look at the numbers, and Auburn's got pretty good numbers offensively outside of the most devastating thing you can do.
Turnovers.
Is turnovers. They're scoring. They're doing a pretty decent job in the red zone. But none of that matters if you make catastrophic plays at the end of the game to lose it. None of that matters. David, you say all the time, college football is a zero-sum game. There's a winner and there is a loser. All that other stuff, it's like a NASCAR driver. I'll use this example again. That leads for like Peyton Thorne, played really good outside of a couple plays. He threw the same interception twice the first time the guy didn't catch it in the red zone. They baited him in the same thing twice. If you really know what you're looking at, you understand that how bad of a mistake that is. But it's like a NASCAR driver that leads the race the whole time. And he's doing great. And he maybe didn't do great before, but it looks like he's turned it around. And on that last lap when he's leading, he doesn't get bumped. Nothing happens to the car. He just drives it into the wall and doesn't finish. That's exactly what's happened. So you can there's some positives to get there. And I'm with Blaine. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, there's some good stuff that Auburn has done. But when you don't win, none of that matters. You think Oklahoma would trade having the numbers that Auburn had offensively and for the loss? Like, if we're to the point where it's like, all right, well, we got a lot of yards. Man, we did really good getting a lot of yards. You remember that one play we got a lot of yards, but we lost the game? That is an awful mentality. And Hugh Freeze is going to get it right. He needs time to continue to build it. But he'll tell you the coaching staff's got to be better. That the special teams have been awful.
You better win 9 games next year.
That's another thing.
You better win 9 games next year or win 8 and beat somebody.
You go 4-8 this year, next year it better have a 9 in front of it. Or if it's 8, damn it better be the right 8. Like, that's where the pressure really is, if we're going to be honest. Hey, YouTube, what is up? Appreciate all you guys stopping by. We're unbelievably happy with how many people watch the live stream and how many subs we're getting. Please, if you haven't, if you just found us, hit that subscribe button and please keep sharing the show because we want to keep taking this thing on the road.